episode 1? Can anyone remember?
It was very scripted from memory.
You was
Oh,
well prepared. I seem to remember there being an agenda.
Yeah, for the first 30 seconds or so, there was hey, here's our mission statement, and then it just became waffling rubbish, which it has been for the last 8 years.
On the plus
Been 8
side,
years.
on the plus side, Hungerford didn't say Terry Gilliam last week. That was a positive.
Yes, that's true.
We should get him on again and get him to say Terry Gilliam.
Why do you want Hungerford to say Terry Gillingham?
Well, that derails the podcast usually. Somebody saying that.
That is very true.
My girlfriend's now looking over. I don't know what this has started.
So, right, I have things from the first episode. So we discussed the cover art for Domination.
So cover art for Oblivion.
I'm gonna find that as well.
Yeah, the Men of War Bombardiers.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, because the more you said their name, the further they got delayed.
No, they'd been just released at that point.
Okay.
And also, we did a spelling it out on P. Irisk.
Spelling
Without
it
he
out.
would have to get out of my chair.
Oh, man.
You got game.
Yeah, I
No
mean...
preparation at all whatsoever. When the turtles first appeared.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, episode 2, we discussed Grim Angus, Unbound, and FQD.
Fun, quick and dirty.
In fact, okay, so we had the Domination cover art in episode 1. We didn't discuss Domination until episode 6.
I'm flicking through it. It was a good book.
Well, it's probably
the
cover art was probably just released when we recorded.
Yeah, because we didn't know what it was.
Sorry,
did we?
Nick, you appear to be in some sort of stuffed animal cave.
Yep. Welcome to my room.
Holy shit!
Let's have a look, Nick. Let's go again.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Welcome to my cave of wonders.
My daughter would be in those EVs, rifling them.
My EVs.
I
She'd be
cannot
in those
see
EVs.
the
Not for long.
video. I can't see your video, Nick.
Oh my god! Could you, Nick? Could you take a picture of your EVs and Evolution plushies and send it to me on Messenger, please?
There's more to the right-hand side.
Oh,
There's
dear
a
God.
whole mix up there.
I just want to. That would just wind up my children massively. Look, an adult man owns these. Allegedly. And you don't.
A little harsh, but necessary.
Wow.
So this is a really good book.
You're just looking through going, this is all amazing.
So Giles Skull was in it.
Oh God, Giles a thing. I'd forgotten him.
Grizel 2.
Yeah, okay, that's valid.
Storm Troll.
Wait,
Rock.
Carl isn't played anymore.
Trolls aren't played anymore.
Oh, nor a Sigma. I mean, I'm out.
I will eventually. I'm just enjoying Chris Regard.
In fairness, I am possibly going to put some Signar on the table now that all gun mages in
Is it a mercenary list? By any chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
All gun mages in the Lely's Resistance get snipe.
Yeah, pretty good.
Like, no tough for you. Bang.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, and they made their Stormblades a point cheaper.
Yeah.
They're still shit.
Hang on. Now, Signar Stormblades, yes, they're terrible.
Because
But
they've lost advanced move, and every Signal player is crying about it.
Lely's Stormblades, however, still have Pathfinder, and with Ashlyn, still get +2 speed and +2 def against magic and range.
Something wrong with that.
When did Stormblade used to be good? It was like Mark II when they could assault, right? And they could just shoot.
Oh, they could just take jacks off the table, like... Yeah.
And the banner did weird things.
The unit leader does crackers things now.
Can I have this war wagon that's only 9 points, please?
No, you can have it at 22.
It's not 22.
Oh, I don't know how much
16, 17?
I mean, it's cheaper then, right? Because everything doubled and then shrunk.
Well...
Not quite.
I know.
Yeah, like some of the pricing now is so far out on that. Well, we doubled it kind of level. Yeah. Where's Trolls?
Roadhog for 9 points. Swamp Horror for 8 points. That's actually not far off what it actually is.
The All wagon is 16 points.
Yeah, how far off was I?
I don't know. I wasn't listening to what you're saying.
I know you
You
were.
said 16.
16,
Yeah.
17, I said, yeah. Well, a lot of them are. This thing is 16.
Oh my god! I've just noticed
What's
how
that?
many. I've just noticed
It's a
how many
tank.
boxes it's got.
Is
Yeah,
that
it's
a brawl
similar-
tank?
This is the Crucible Guard, Crucible Guard,
I don't even know what Crucible
Rayless
Guard are.
Interceptor. They're kind of like Signar, but good.
Gorman the army.
I'm not the first person to make that joke. They
I
are,
have-
Gorman, they are the army of Gorman. He's right. They are.
Right, you. I faced Gearhart twice last weekend. Those were like the games were fun because the people I was playing against were fun, but dear God, playing against Gearhart is fucking miserable.
And you played against my Gearhart and you beat the crap out of me.
Yeah, but this is Andy Garrard.
You mean a proper player? Is that what those words meant?
Someone who plays for Team England and has a lot of experience facing a lot of different opponents who can leverage the synergies within the army by virtue of his experience.
Full credit. Andy Gerard, proper player. I'm happy to accept that.
That's fair enough.
Because he is. Because I ask him about stuff all the time.
Yeah. No, I think I pushed him, but
Did he even remember all the spells to use and stuff? I think that's really the key. That's the bit I forget.
I think he did.
Yeah, that's just cheating, isn't it? Really, let's be fair.
But Gearhart is, oh my God.
I know he's awesome. He is amazing.
Just the fact that he can go, I'm having this gun instead, and this gun's going to knock you down. And oh, okay.
OG Elite Cadre time is over.
Boo. Oh yes, and bloody well done is a stupid battle plan.
I know. I do remember to use that one, especially at the moment. So, line of sight. I've got a what's it called? Online forumy thing app on your phone. Words, can't remember what they all mean. A Discord.
Something.
A Discord.
Discord is a
Discord
voice chat
server.
program.
And I've been on the Crucible Guard forum chatting about. They were talking about why he's not very good, why the Crucible Guard infantry are very good. And I said, yeah, but with bloody well done, they're really quite good at taking off upkeeps at range. And they're
Yes.
yeah, but they don't do it very often. I'm like, what, 3 or 4 times, and it tends to hit anything and tends to
So-
crit everything.
So what you're saying is Crucible Guard are Signar mixed with mercenaries mixed with men off.
Well, there's kind of almost a bit of cricks because they debuff.
It's just the OG factions in one.
Right. Let me tell you what they did to my McBain army. Okay. So McBain army.
Can I get comfortable first? It sounds like a really good.
Okay.
This should be in the podcast, don't you think? Because this is like just joy.
I think we're live.
We are.
I mean, we are live. I can edit this in later. It's
Okay,
fine.
good. All right, I'll get comfortable.
But okay, so it's feet turn. The Kayazi are countermeasured. They've gone forward. There's a line of them across the battlefield. It's all going spiffingly well. Nothing on the opposing team can fire.
The opposing team. Are we playing Blood Bowl now?
Yeah. Then what's the name of the
Guild Ball, Alex?
What's the name of
Ball.
the
Guild
dude?
Ball.
Savior,
Sorry.
Our Lord and Savior Guild Ball.
Our Lord and Savior.
Pros-
our Lord and Savior.
That's it. Prospero.
Prospero.
Prospero sends
Burns.
one of his jacks forward
Yes.
and smacks one of the Kayazi. He goes, "Okay, you lose countermeasure."
Dispel. Yep.
Oh, okay, that's bad. And then he goes, "Okay, so my Colossal moves forwards and puts the whatever the vapor is out. So that means you can't heal. So
Pretentious hipster.
so I have
Vapor.
no countermeasures. My feet has been turned off.
Yep.
This is going to be a bad time." Then he proceeded to knock down pretty much all of my warjacks and murder the rest of my army.
What math
You sound
on your
Sparrow
feet.
to hit the Kayaze?
Pretty butthurt about all this, Mike. I'm not gonna lie.
Kayazi are easier to hit in.
I should be back in
Part
half an hour when I've tweeted Mr. Gerard to understand.
three. Oh,
exactly how
that wasn't Andy. That was Graham. No, like Andy, there were points where I could have won that game. Against Graham, there was no point at which I was even playing the same game he was. It was like I may as well have just laid down on the floor and swept my models off the table. It was horrific.
Yay.
Yes.
Are we too old for tournaments now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
No,
I found that.
I do decently at some of them. I just do terribly at others.
He only just decently at the ones. Only he's attending.
The ones that he's running.
I don't run. I haven't run tournaments in years.
That's my day job now.
Yes,
Running War Machine tournaments.
Not War Machine. More profitable than War Machine.
So what
But
are you
that's
doing
not
then?
hard.
I assume it's esports something.
It is. Yeah, I run the official UK League of Legends league.
Yeah. Not a big deal, but
Not a big deal.
Can you explain
Yeah.
what's happened to that game? Because I keep seeing something like tactics.
Yeah, they released this thing called Teamfight Tactics that is basically just a digital board game, and it's fantastic. You should give it a go because you'll probably get on with it.
Oh, okay. I had no.
Tool.
No, but I thought it was like another game mode. Like, was it Earth or whatever it was called? I don't know.
Yeah, no, these are like proper different games. So it's there's a hex grid, and you have to put down your pieces on the grid. Meanwhile, you've got a roulette that's giving you access to different bits.
Oh.
He's going to go full on sales pitch in a second.
So is it Game of Life then? Is that what you're telling me?
Sounds like it. Yeah, I'm there with that. Yep. Is it like Warhammer 40k Monopoly?
I mean, it's closer to a.
Is it like Rick and Morty Monopoly?
It's a strategy
I want
game.
that.
So.
That I want in my life.
What, Rick and Morty Anatomy Park?
No, Monopoly. I don't think there is
Monopoly.
one.
Why do you want Monopoly?
Yeah. Why would you want like what is essentially just a very boring game with a veneer coating over it?
Is there a game? There wasn't a Anatomy Park board game yet, is there? I don't think.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, is there? I know there's a card game thing of the weird infested house episode. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's the Mr. Meeksy's episode, and then there's the.
No, I don't mean that one, but yeah, the one where the house gets invaded by weird alien things, pretending to be the family and old friends of the family. Good.
Cool story.
Okay. Shall we make some pretense of having a second half of this episode now?
I'm Mike.
Nice.
Well, that was a good old time with Mr. Hungerford there. We are back several days after the initial recording.
Time
Feels
travel.
like weeks.
Rabble.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we pretty much have the OG Elite Cadre plus Benj. He's still here. But we have, in fact, resurrected Nick.
Say hello,
Hi,
Nick.
Nick.
We're so coordinated. It's the best.
It's like episode 1 all over again. It's great.
It's the worst when Alex is actually audible. It's better when he's in a fucking submarine.
Oh, right. Okay. Thanks.
No, I, for one, am glad that Alex has joined at least the 20th century with his microphone equipment, because being able to hear him rather than just hearing this distant whisper that sort of convinces you're going slightly mad, it's much of an improvement.
I thought you were going to say, I, for one, welcome our new Alex Overlords. It just sounded like it was going to go down that route. But
I think it's the weird. It's what you can hear. All you can hear is this beard trying to take over the world, like some kind of Cthulhu-esque. I don't know.
has he actually got a beard, or is?
Oh, Benj never saw it, did he?
Oh no!
Should we turn the camera back on?
No.
The
Are you wearing
viewers at home.
clothes? Are you wearing
I'm
clothes?
wearing clothes.
You were
It was.
There he is.
It wasn't for Hungerford. Oh
Jesus,
Jesus!
that is a beard.
That is a beard. And there we
What do you make your own homebrew alcohol and
go. No.
wear
I-
shorts 24/7?
No, but he just plait it and wear an axe over his back at weekends.
Oh, you
Maybe it's some
larper!
additional woad.
You dirty larper!
I am absolutely not a larper. I never larped in my adult or adolescent life.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I've known some very nice LARPers. They're fine people. Just, don't anger them too much, because a LARP weapon to the face often offends.
You just don't ask them about LARP either, because then they tend to talk about it.
We apologise to our LARPing audience who may be offended by this segment.
Isn't that just like one person?
No, it really is not.
You mean the entire audience?
No.
Oh, I see. Oh, in that case, yes.
Greetings to our audience, all, none of you. No, it's
We've not really advertised that we're recording, though, have we?
no, we haven't this evening because we don't really generally advertise that we go live. We just happen to be live because it's easier to record this way.
We peaked with somebody who was actually interesting, and
Is
now
it? So it's definitely a peak.
Well, it was actually nice to have Will Hungerford on and kind of.
I thought you were going to say someone who's interesting then.
Well, it took us 100 episodes to even get someone from PP on, although we didn't ask you for then. So,
I was going to say, I really asked you for that.
no, no, it was a different experience to have someone who actually knew what they were talking about on the show.
Yeah, he's at least played the game more than 10
Once,
times this
Twice.
year.
I think he's probably played the game about 10 times today.
Do you reckon? Bloody hell. Poor
He's
guy.
probably still
If
playing
by
Riot
the
Quest
game
10.
we're referring to Riot Quest.
Yeah. Riot Quest is very much a thing.
Did
And-
that sell anybody on the podcast? Did anybody want to pick it up?
I was
Tempted.
already buying it.
Yeah,
Well,
tempted.
The thing is, for me, it's okay. Looking at the economics of it, I know the US prices, don't know the UK prices yet, but it's a $50 box for 5 mercenary solos. Well, four mercenaries and 1 Signar. So even if I didn't play the game, I would be buying the box.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Does.
because all the models in Riot Quest have War Machine rules.
Yeah, that surprised me when he said that, and that makes
Yeah.
it a bit more interesting.
And almost all of them are minion and mercenaries.
Which
Either
makes
or.
sense, right? Because then they can
It
be
does.
everywhere.
Well, to be fair, Captain Leg Day is Signar. So
Yeah. But they're
As someone
it's
who's
just rare
been out of
exceptions.
War Machine and doesn't really have any interest in playing it, it interested me because I like little skirmish games. That was what first got me into War Machine. It just grew into a beast where you put so many goddamn models on the table.
it's. I will say with the new theme forces, it's only got bigger.
Oh wow!
But not only that, the Theme Forces tried to make it seem smaller, and yet, having just bought a whole War Machine army in the last 9-10 months, yeah, it's still a hell of a lot of money in real terms.
Is it time that's the only factor that stops you probably from playing at this point? Or
Time, needing to lug the models somewhere. Just now living in central London means got to take them on the tube, and that's a hassle. And yeah,
Yeah, I've done
my
War Machine.
boy's all grown up, living in the big city. Kind of makes you well.
you're living in a wigwam now, aren't you? With your fucking beard.
gone all hippie on us.
All right.
Wow.
Sorry.
Again.
It's just really beardy. Never mind.
Look, he's trying to be a Canadian ice hockey
Oh, okay.
follower.
No, he's a lumberjack who does like part-time amateur ice hockey. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
And everything that comes with that.
Actually, what happened to you playing Infinity?
Not a lot, to be honest.
He actually tried playing it.
Did he?
That's what happened.
And then he stopped.
Well, that's what usually happens.
Again, it's as Nick uses as an excuse.
You don't
Time
live
is-
in London.
No. I'm using the time part of his
Oh,
excuse.
okay.
Time is money, friends.
Time is a factor.
It is.
I will admit that in the years that I've been wargaming, and we still haven't found a good solution for carting models around on public
Yeah.
transport. Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
sorry.
called a car bench.
You mean the peasant wagon bench?
yes. Well, if you are in like a city situation,
In fairness, in central London, why would you ever drive? That is kind of a
it's like-
valid thing.
That's a mistake. Driving
Yeah.
into London.
Yes.
If I was in London and I was lugging models around, I would probably use the solution I have for Games Expo, which is something on wheels.
I thought you
A
were going to say
person,
ship them there
a
before the
Sherpa.
Yeah, I FedEx all my models to the venue before I play, even on club nights.
Yeah.
You need to hire a Sherpa.
What, you mean Conrad?
No, just well, maybe, I don't know. That might be
Isn't that a
racially
tank?
charged.
Isn't that a couple of tank?
Isn't that a Sherman?
Possibly.
Are we playing bolt action now? Elite Cadre, the bolt action and
I've got tanks.
That's a point, actually. Is Elite Cadre still a thing in this game?
No. I don't think it is.
Doesn't it exist in?
Where?
I swear it existed somewhere.
Oh, in the past, yes, but now
But
What
not.
about Constance Blaze? Does she still have it?
don't think so.
See, now I'm
They
being
have
forced to
tactics
check.
and they have granted, don't they? Which have kind of between them replaced it. I think. I haven't seen it anywhere in quite a long time.
Doesn't Krios have Elite
What,
Cadre?
Well, exactly. He used to. Especially Krios 2.
Was it Vengers though? I'm not sure.
Oh, Krios 3 was Vengeance.
Yeah, what did I say? I didn't say
Well,
Krios.
he was a Krios, didn't he? But I assume
Yeah, I said
2.
Krios. No, I seen 3.
2 you definitely used to have it with all the exemplars, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Do you know, I genuinely can't remember if we've been removed from the game. It's quite sad.
I think we have.
Right.
Now, we should have some music while everybody searches War Room.
I'm literally on War Room.
I think everybody is while they're not talking.
Well, I mean,
What is that?
Dun, dun, dun,
I think what Benj was attempting was the Jeopardy music.
That wasn't me.
That was me.
Nick. Sorry. Okay, Benj. I profusely.
Okay, hell, you got
please.
beard in your ears.
Beard in your ears.
brilliant. I love it.
I'm trying to search this fucking tablet. No, don't tell me about the updates. I've been using this for years.
Oh,
Fuck off.
If you haven't updated the app, you do need to update the app because Oblivion has now happened, and you're gonna get some funky stuff if you're on the old version.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm good.
Are you? Are you
Does
really?
this mean you have
Not
to
really.
pay for everything again?
Elite
So there's no.
It's still in the game. It's on fucking Krios 3.
There we
It
go.
is. So
Yeah.
Constance Blaze doesn't have it, but it's Krios 3 is the only thing, is he?
Well, that's the only one I found as an example. Let
Because
me
it used to be on.
We are still
Krios
relevant.
2.
Just about.
just check Krios 2.
You used to have it. Oh yeah.
No,
Exemplar Avengers.
Krios 2 does not have it.
So Exemplar Avengers, Krios 2. Who else is that with Cavalry? But yeah, so it's still there. It's still a thing.
Krios 2 has Paragon of the Faith, which
A lot of the elite cadre was removed from the game and transferred over to either veteran leader or field marshal.
Or tactics, or granted. Some of those things kind of replaced it as well, I think.
Yeah, true.
Or took some of the rules on.
But,
my-
I mean, they have with Oblivion taken the opportunity to streamline some of the rules. So having now played,
Yeah, veteran leader, you're right. Veteran leader on Catherine Lattimore, things like that.
that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Having now played with them, no hills is not a problem. It really isn't.
But how do you see over stuff? I mean, it just feels weird.
The other one that we didn't realize at the time was the target in melee stuff has changed drastically.
You're no longer randomised, do you?
No.
You still got the same defensive bonus, but you don't randomise if you miss.
If you miss, you miss. That's it. That's what happens.
no more killing your own squad in combat.
Most people forgot to do it anyway, I think.
Or
Kill
how
their
to
own
do it.
squad.
No, we'll forget to randomise, don't do anything with it.
Yeah, it actually speeds the game up. Because rather than going, oh, it's 18, oh, I'd need an 11, I might kill my own guy.
Alex, are you pretending to do modelling?
What?
No, he's sharpening his beard.
Right.
Vilmon 1 has Elite Cadre as well.
Are you still looking?
Ben-
That's
Ben
the
is
last
making his
conversation,
mission.
Benj.
Basically, Menoth is upholding Elite Cadre.
We cancelled, that's it, I'm done.
Menoth.
Welcome to the Menoth Hordes and War Machine podcast.
It's the only faction I have lots of models in.
Hail the creator of
I
man.
am going to go back to something that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, because Nick is very much kind of on the outside of things at this point, and so is Alex. So
What?
I'm just saying, you're kind of on the outside of War Machine and
I'm
Frontier Press in
inside.
general.
I'm not outside my wigwam at the moment.
I'm on the outside. I'm looking in.
I mean,
Me.
I was going to say, is there anything else you'd like to kind of add to the Riot Quest discussion that's interested you, or not you, Alex, but
Thanks.
Never you, Alex.
Never me.
No, I mean, as I think I need to look into it a bit more. When he first said Saturday morning cartoon stuff, I hadn't gone and looked at any of the models, and I was hoping for like proper cartoony style models, and I was a little sad that they weren't, but I guess if they're being all played in War Machine and Horde,
Yeah.
that would be a bit weird. Have some really
They
cartoony
are on
models.
the wackier end of War Machine. I mean, someone who's 7 feet tall with bright pink hair and a rocket launcher. That's not your standard War Machine.
No, that's
Character.
Overwatch.
I was going to say that is Zarya, but with a rocket launcher.
Pretty much.
But no,
There are
Yes, looks
10 occurrences of Elite Cadre.
10.
Gone through and counted them.
Yeah.
No, I just put it in War Machine University. There are 10. Moving on.
What are the 10?
That's my line.
Sorry.
What are the 10?
Absalonia's got one. Alexia. General Slaughterborn. Vilman as
I thought you were going to say
Bench.
General Grievous.
Hawthor apparently still got one. Kraos 3. Striker.
Has he?
Captain Striker, yeah, apparently so.
Captain Striker.
Da, 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 da. I'm bored of reading now. It's quite a few. Yuri the Axe.
Oh,
There you go.
Cossaites.
Sorry to cut you off, Mike. Sorry.
Sorry, Cossaites don't matter. Don't care.
No, you're not sorry. You've never been sorry in your life.
This much is true. But I, try and at least pay homage to it.
Homage.
That too.
Fromage?
Fromage.
They do.
Hang on, Captain Striker.
Captain Striker.
Is that like Striker Zero?
There is no Captain Striker.
Oh, it's a league model. I do beg your pardon.
Fail.
We
I
don't
didn't
do
read the small
leagues
print.
here.
I didn't
I'm
read the small
scrolling
print.
through and going, no, Commander Striker. No, that's the
There's a league
Lord
model. It's
Commander.
obviously Zero.
General Common Striker. But there is no Striker Zero.
No, but it was a league model.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think is it Haley Zero we've got now?
Huh?
Only as part of the 3. No, we've got
No, it's Kane
Kane
Zero.
Oh, Kane Zero. You're right. Yes.
As a recruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah, I
solo,
remember
as a
Kane Zero,
gentleman,
isn't it?
Which
Yes.
is just weird.
So actually, one of them is a falsehood.
Oh dear God, he's got the terrible concept art as well in War Room.
How
Yeah.
lovely. Oh,
They
you
had
found
to
him.
put something in there.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. There were a lot of art pieces that went in one update that were like really dodgy, blocked, unshaded concept art, like Rahira in Mercenaries, and they seem to be going through and replacing those with art from Oblivion and beyond now.
Fantastic.
So that's nice. I mean, I'll clarify. It's not terrible art. It's just that it's not. I don't think it's the same quality as other pieces in War Machine.
I saw the prices for Archons today, and I had a small kitten.
Oh boy, yeah, they are not cheap, are they?
No, and
I haven't looked. Am I going to have a problem?
well, the first two, 40 of your precious bucks, or whatever that would be, translated to pounds. Yes, each. £40. For two of them, the Menite one's not bad, but from what I remember from the other information, the Morrowind's a bit meh. So
The Morrowind one did get toned down a bit because it originally came out as being utterly insane.
it did. I think the Menite one.
Having what was a 6-point solo with ore in a 10-inch radius was just nuts.
The other ones have not been released in War Room yet, though. Even though we
No.
do know the rules for them.
No,
Really?
we know the CID for them. We don't. know.
Okay.
Oh, they're not coming out until they get released. I didn't realize that. I thought they were going to be in there already.
No.
That's
Yeah.
why I can't find them. Thermite one then.
Yep. It's
So
not
the Menite Archon is 35. Well, in fact, the Menite and Morrowind Archons are £35 each.
What are Archons?
So
Well, I'm glad you asked that.
Yes.
Douglas.
In Oblivion, what's happened is the Infernals have returned. So the gods have basically sent their agents to Cain to kind of help. And they are sort of part reincarnations of former heroes, but a little bit of the spirit of the god mixed in. They don't quite have free will. They're very odd beings, but they work for multiple factions. So you have the Menite Archon, who is just an utter melee beatstick. You have the Morrowind Archon, who is a little bit of support with a little bit of defensive tech. You've got the Thamorite Archon, who is pure ranged assassination.
Bit of blood sacrifice thrown in.
Yeah. They're mostly mercenary or minion. They all have rules that like can't be knocked down, can't be made blind, can't be taken control of, and they are silly. They are like, was it 40 or 50 mil bases, most of them?
They're almost all large bases. Only the Union one is a medium, which is
Yes.
the trolley kind of one.
Which means when you're looking at them, you're thinking, oh, that doesn't look that big. Then you
Ah.
realize that the base they're on isn't 30 mil, it's 50.
Oh.
So, yeah, and the Morrowind one has like massive wings that overhang and a flail that's going the other direction. It's like, this is going to be a Warjack-sized solo. They are very interesting to kind of look at. But yeah, let me think. The Morrowind one. So it's got it's speed 6, mat 8. It's got flight, def 14, arm 18, 10 boxes. It's got a magical blessed spear, range 2, pair 15. A magical blessed shield, so it's effectively armor 20. If you're within 5 inches of it and you're an enemy model, you get -2 to your attack rolls. It gains an additional die on melee attack and damage rolls, discarding the highest. Discarding the lowest, sorry. Shield guard. Enemies can't get soul tokens while they're in its command range. And veteran leader for Morrowind models.
Does it have elite Cadre though?
No, it's veteran leader. Veteran leader, definitely veteran leader. Which means you can take your new and improved precursors and make them mat 8.
Have they only got 1 inch reach, though?
They've gone up to an inch of melee.
Okay.
And I believe they got cheaper as well. And you can now cast upkeeps on them.
Oh, they got the
Yes.
good spell thing.
Yes, they've got, was it Holy Ward rather than Spell Ward?
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yes, precursors might not be playable again.
Sweet Jesus.
Madness.
Although someone was saying, oh, I'm really glad they got Power Swell in this version. And everyone was there going, they've had that since Mark II. You just haven't read the card.
It wasn't called Power Swell, was it? It was called something else because it was the book.
It's Morrow's name, but it's effectively Power Swell.
Activate the book.
Yeah. From the man with the giant shoulder pads. It's, yeah. I want to put them on the table again, and I think I can justify it now. Because shield wall units in Mercs don't exist. So, yeah. That's a thing.
And Gallant's a thing.
Yes, I can play Gallant. Oh, yes, because of Flame in the Darkness.
That gets a pat of the table, that does.
Flame in the Darkness is... Now, Nick, if you haven't heard about this one, this one's going to absolutely thrill you. Okay?
The Infernal
Maybe.
being able to take really weird and wonderful things, isn't it?
So, it's applicable to Signar, Cadre, and Mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
You can take Morrowind or Thamurite Warcasters, non-character Mercenary Warjacks, up to 2 Signar or Cadre Warjacks, Gallant, any Alexias, Morrowind models, Thamurite models, Field Mechanics, and the Hermit of Hengehold.
I assume that you can mix and match there, so you could take 1 Signar, 1 Cadre.
So, in fact, you could take Striker with 2 Juggernauts.
Nice.
Which,
So you could have your wish of playing what was her name and 2 Lancers.
Oh.
Cadre caster.
Oh,
lots of spells. Yeah.
Oh, Zakova can have Arc Nodes. No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. Someone gave Cadre arc nodes.
But isn't Sokovia, you can't take in that because you can take she appears in the Infernal thing, doesn't she? Or have I got that wrong?
No, she's Thamurite.
Oh, okay.
I believe so, anyway.
I thought she was one of the corrupted that was in there. Have I got the wrong one?
Just because you're in there doesn't mean...
Oh, I thought they were precluding. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Colden Commander Alexandra Zakova is a Thamurite. So, yes, she can be taken in there. But she does now have, I believe...
So that theme becomes the faction of whichever caster you choose.
Yes.
Is that right? Yes.
There are even weirder ones. The Cadre Menoth one is even weirder. Because that means you can now take Butcher and...
Avengers.
Yeah,
What do you
well,
mean?
No, sorry. You can take Vlad with Vengers, yes, or you could take a Cadre list and pair it with, I'm trying to remember his name, Krios 3. Because when Krios 3 is taken in the horse theme, he becomes a Cadre caster.
Oh,
Yes.
because he's from Cadre.
No, anyone who's taken in that theme gains the Cadre and Cadre and Menite tags.
Oh.
So you want to take Vlad as Menoth? Sure. Why not?
So it seems like a fluffy thing, but actually isn't. But it could be, but it isn't.
Yeah. Well, no, Vlad would work for Menoth because he's part of the Old Faith, which is fine. It is just the one cavalry caster. Oh, and there's 2 cavalry casters in Menoth, aren't there?
Yes. Well,
yes.
It's technically three, but I'm not sure they count. What's his face 2 on the chariot?
No.
Resnick.
He's a battle engine, isn't he?
But this cavalry is still it's a cavalry battle engine, but I don't think they count him. Resnick 2 technically should be a cavalry, but I don't think they count him. But yes, Fiora 3 and Krios 3.
I'm actually going to take a look at this. If it's Warriors of the Old Faith. Okay, so the casters available for that list when playing as Cadre are Fiora, Krios, Resnick, and Vlad.
It is 3, yeah. I thought he was a cavalry caster. I wonder if they changed him just to take him out. Because in CID they were it was debated, but I didn't know what the outcome was.
And people were looking for like, I can finally take Vlad with the Menoth Colossal, and then they nerfed it.
Yeah, good.
Sad times. But you can take Vlad with templates.
For who exactly?
Sad times for people who wanted to abuse things. I don't know. Whereas I'm looking at the new theme forces and going, yes, 1 requisition point for 3 powder monkeys. Yes.
Oh, 3 mechanics or 2 trances. It's quite nice.
I hate trances. We don't talk about
know, they're so nice. They're so cuddly.
Yeah, solos that walk up and go, I slam your warjack. Great, thank you. What's
From
that?
11 inches away.
4-inch melee. Oh, and it's all boosted as well. Oh, how lovely. Yay.
From Mat 4, though, let's be fair.
I have Def 10 warjacks. What's your point?
Boosted 4. Yay! They are great. As I said when we talked to Will, it was a weird process of learning what they do or exactly how you use them. And I threw them away for so many games where I went, wait a minute, if I just hide them a bit and bring them out when I need them instead of using them as funny screens or thinking they'll survive. Oh, look, they survive.
Yeah, park them on a flag and watch an enemy go, I'll put my solo here, and oh no. The trancer has exploded. I am dead. Oh god.
So now no one's got the flag.
Yeah, they are the perfect stand on a flag solo. Ah, filth.
Yes, totally agree.
So anyway, now that we got you back, Nick.
Yeah.
What are you doing with yourself these days? Come on, give us a brief thing.
Work. Still playing board games. Had a very good run of Gloomhaven before relocating to London. Really enjoyed Gloomhaven.
That's quite an RPG kind of board game, isn't it? As far as I haven't played it,
very,
but
very dungeon runny, skirmish gamey sort of.
But leveling up within it, is that right?
Yeah. It's like a D&D dungeon run, I guess.
That's what I've heard. I've heard there's a lot of migration from RPG into things like Gloomhaven, and Gloomhaven's held up as the kind of corner case of it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It's a great little game.
Isn't one of the big things with it in that you're essentially at the start blind picking what you're going to get?
Correct. Everything is in sealed boxes, and you're advised not to go and look at what you're picking and just basically roll with it. Just go, right, that thing sounds weird. Let's go with it and just make what you can.
Cool.
But
we do have a campaign of this sort of coming up with some friends. So I'm interested to know the feel of it. I've heard it compared to was it Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance?
As a Baldur's Gate is a video game, or Baldur's Gate is there a board game that I've not played?
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance was very much a dungeon crawl video game.
Okay.
Dissimilar to the Baldur's Gate proper RPG. This is very much here's a character. You're going to be sent through hordes of rat men for 3 hours, and now some lizard men.
So I can see why they might say that, because the dungeon runs are long. Like a dungeon will take about 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like it's taking 2 hours, and it doesn't feel like you're just grinding for the sake of grinding. Everything feels like it's a means to an end, and you're opening up this world, and you're discovering all the different stories in the world.
I have you know, I quite enjoy Zombicide still. Grinding for the sake of grinding.
Well, your kids are really into Zombicide, so that's
what I do. I play Zombicide with the children, which is fun. I can see why it doesn't work in a similar kind of in the group that you've just been kind of, well, not described as such, but with an adult group of gamers, I can see why it feels a bit tedious. But with a group of like kids and cousins and stuff, it's really fun.
Yeah. And then moving away from Gloomhaven, picked up the game Villainous recently. Which is one of those games that at the moment was advertised as a game for kids, a game for Disney and whatnot, but actually it's got some really solid mechanics behind it. So it feels very much like an asymmetrical TCG. It feels like the days of Netrunner and things like that. Everyone has a deck that's kind of self-contained, but you're playing off against other people.
Okay, I do remember hearing something about this on Shut Up and Sit Down. Which they seem to be they're impressed with it. They're expecting something that was much kind of more kid aimed. They're like, actually no, there's some decent stuff in here for kind of for beer and pretzels play as well. It's not just for the little ones, as it were.
Yeah.
So
I've been having some fun with that. Shame there's no deck customization for it. That would be the next level, I think. But what's there is pretty good. What else have I been playing lately? That's kind of it. Not been playing an awful lot.
So that's basically everything you can fit in your free time at the moment.
Yeah, video games taking up a lot. Teamfight Tactics and various things. So
that's cool. So actually, what we should probably do, given that we've kind of already had an hour in the previous recording, and we've done some in this record, we actually might as well do an extended any other business, like what all of us have been playing recently. I mean, we could move on to Alex now and say, yeah, I know. I'm allowing him to speak. It's a risky measure, I know.
Heinous crimes.
But
I have not committed any penis crimes, I'll have you know.
Wow. So, Alex, what have you been doing?
Ice hockey?
Like on the Mega Drive, or
Nice.
No. On the actual ice, an ice rink. Yeah, pretty much the life now is.
Can you skate now?
Yeah, just about getting there.
Sliding on your butt is not skating.
No, I'm aware of that.
But you've got a stick to propel you. Why would you need skates?
No, is the little penguin thing. That's not skating either.
Well, you just kind of rest your stick over the handle of the penguin and just kind of hope for the best, really.
If you use the penguin, push the puck into the goal, does it count?
Yeah, I guess so.
What Alex actually does is he claims to be a battle engine and just rides the Zamboni around chasing the other players.
Very slowly.
Well, in more seriousness now, I've recently taken and passed my coaching exam for ice hockey. So I am very soon to be a registered coach.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's like a grown-up thing.
Yeah, it is like a grown-up thing. Yeah,
Is this going to be like the Mighty Ducks?
Ooh.
No, unfortunately, I'm not an alcoholic down and out lawyer. So
Yet.
Whatever happened to Emilio Estevez?
Well, these brothers started banging 20-gram rocks. I think your career's pretty much over when that happens.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you've moved on from like press ganging, so one community role, now to coaching in ice hockey.
Yeah, I don't know. Forever
Just
the servant.
yeah, just proving that like press gangers are the people who take the community with them wherever they go.
Yeah, pretty much.
To hell and back.
Another ice hockey film.
Thanks for that positivity, Benj.
Sorry. Are we trying to be positive? Oh,
That was last week.
I succeeded. I
You
got
did.
a compliment.
Well, by muting yourself, that I did notice that. But yes.
I interjected at least 3 times to.
But we could hear you unmute, so it was obvious.
I just thought it was best in case.
No, I agree.
slipped out,
I agree.
you know?
No, but wise, very wise.
Thought it was best in case you shared your true opinion.
I don't really have that many true opinions anymore of the game.
Muting is kind of an auto filter because you talk and then you realise you have to unmute and say it again. And you go, I can't bother.
The game is the game. I could play it if I want.
That is the most reductionist thing I've heard today.
I'm sorry.
The game is the game.
It's also positivity, though. The game is the game. No? Okay.
Well, yeah.
But it's not a pipe? I don't know.
It is. That is true. It's not a pipe. But no, I don't know. There's no point really being massively down on the game that you're not playing as much right now.
Yeah.
I think part of the thing is that you kind of you have the nostalgia beer goggles and you kind of wish it was Mark II again, and that's about it really. If you're not,
Yeah, I kind of wish it was Mark 1 again.
I very much do not.
Yeah.
No, it was bonkers. It was.
Did someone say
insane.
flying dragons?
No, we do not take Epic Vlad, throw the Draken, and then go, okay, that's, was it, D3 plus 2 attacks on your caster who's knocked down?
+3 to the majority of his stats.
But also work with trolls, throwing maulers at each other.
Yeah. Holy Hand Grenade. Who remembers that one?
Cost going back a bit.
In fairness, there was a variant of it in Mark III at the start with the was it the Flying Circus?
With the gators, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
where they were taking minion war beasts and just throwing stuff all over the place, and then eventually going, right, my heavy war beast is on your caster. Good game. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alex, isn't it you just missed that pure sensual kind of experience of a door being opened in your face?
Yeah, that is. Wow, I'd actually forgotten about that.
I'm here to also remind you of your lost car keys as well.
Lost car
These are
keys.
national events, very prestigious things to do.
Hang on. Do we want to remind him of the time he dropped out of Team Elite Cadre at the ETC to go to judge instead? He took one look at myself and Nick and went, actually, you know what? I think I'll be on the judge team. It's fine.
Wow.
That's okay. Didn't we all do that eventually?
Eventually we did. Not at the ETC, though. I would remind people as well, that's the ETC where Kev Bryant was somewhat indisposed and had to attend in jogging bottoms for the second day before going
Definitely not food poisoning.
I'd forgotten that.
Somewhat unwell. That was Maelstrom Games. The catering was not high spec, or indeed spec. I don't think I've had a worse curry in a very long time.
You all left with dysentery, did you?
No, just Kev Bryant.
Just kept.
Just to give you an image, Benj.
Did his hat become a useful?
It might have at one point.
Okay.
But imagine, if you will, a tinned curry, right? And this is the food, not anything else. Might be something else as well, but imagine a tinned curry, like 12 of which have been poured into a pot and left to stew for about a week.
Over 3 candles.
Then next to it is a pot of rice, which has long since lost any impression of individual grains. It's rice.
Porridge.
Rice you can serve in blocks.
Oh.
1 none pour 2, sir.
You basically slice the stuff to get it out of there.
Oh.
I mean, as like only the old Northwest Gaming Centre had food that rivaled that, with its lukewarm hot dogs.
This isn't a nice picture you're painting here. This is quite the opposite.
So
the
they
picture-
started with nostalgia for Mark II, didn't it? Okay.
The picture I'm painting is that wargaming venues are better now.
They are.
Because the Northwest Gaming Centre is actually a nice
I mean,
place.
basic hygiene didn't take that much. I mean, surely.
Well, to be fair, for the Northwest Gaming Centre, it took someone like Tim King walking in there with an investor and going, "We can do better than this."
Sure, not just burn it down and let's start again.
Well, I mean, they might as well have. But to be honest, putting carpet tiles everywhere, cleaning the loos, minor thing, but they did it. Making sure the lights worked. Again,
All the time.
yeah, and also sectioning off that fire escape, because really, how many times did you go down that fire escape and realize that one of the steps was only connected at one side?
Oh,
And the fact that the bottom three weren't even connected to the building at all. Yeah. That thing was... They did say it had been inspected. I was thinking, yeah, but how much did they pay the inspector?
Took away his glasses.
Yeah.
But tip top of Mark II was Martin and a barbecue out back of Firestorm.
Yeah.
With the barbecue smoke just wafting through Firestorm games. So everyone who's there who's not finished their games just going, I want to finish this. I want a burger. That was...
Fun times, eh?
That version of Firestorm, the atmosphere at that version of Firestorm was tremendous. I mean,
It was awesome.
So for anyone who never went, the current version is kind of this was a disused like carpet wholesale place, and it's very light and airy and spacious, and there's actual ventilation in there. The shop is huge. The old one was not that. The old one, you got this sort of very kind of compact storefront. That sort of very much.
It's actually just on the corner of the road where it is now, isn't it?
It's
where the escape rooms are now, I think.
Yeah.
And the back was clearly like 4 or 5 storerooms that have been knocked together. So you got like slightly uneven floors and bits of wall that are standing there because they're the one structural thing left in there. Camo nets slung from the ceiling to hide the fact that there's like 200 years of pipe work all over the place. They had that manky old desk at one end, clearly been hammered together from 6-inch thick pieces of wood that someone went,
worked.
These are leftovers. We'll use them. It's fine. And it had such real character as a venue and such atmosphere. Everyone loved playing there.
It was awesome.
Don't kneel down if you want to keep your trousers clean.
Why would you be kneeling down in a gaming venue anyway?
No. To get in the outy bag.
Yeah. But also, don't move your chair back because there were gutters on one side. So you instantly dropped 6 inches at the back of the chair, which was somewhat terrifying. Yeah, the old Firestorm games, what a venue. Whoa.
We all spent a lot of time there.
Yeah. Well, that's where the very first SmogCon was.
SmogCon.
Yes.
And the second.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, I mean, we've just had the, 10th anniversary of the Welsh Masters as well.
Yep.
And that was held there for many years before it it moved over with the venue. So, but it was interesting to know that of the 10, I've been to 9. So I've only ever missed 1. And yeah, seeing that event grow has been really interesting down the years.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
So I do very much look forward to seeing Byron's take on it next year.
More tentacles, I expect.
Better streaming equipment.
I really hope you're talking about in the Cthulhu Wars sense there, Kurt.
Just in general. Just knowing Byron, just in general. Especially if he listens to this. More tentacles!
Or more free throgs? I don't know.
Yeah, that works too. Or, yeah.
Yeah, better streaming equipment would be my one request.
Well, if you talk to Byron now...
I already mentioned it to Byron on the end of the first day.
Well, I think reinforcing that is a good idea.
Yeah.
He's probably there somewhere. Now. Maybe.
I haven't actually looked at the YouTube chat. I'm being incredibly lazy. Yeah, that's just me.
I would say you had one job, but that'd be hypocritical of me.
Yeah, I do about 4 jobs for this show bench, so
Yeah, I needed the scheduling this time. So.
I will just say, while we're on the topic of Firestorm, anyone who's looking for a tournament, the Firestorm in Cardiff has an awful lot of tournaments coming up. I'm not going to get to the list of those. They're available from the UK War Machine Hordes Facebook group.
Look.
But Firestorm Swindon also has a tournament coming up. So on the 24th of August, they are running I believe their second steamroller. It'll probably be for 16 players again. It will be using the Oblivion rules and themes. And that's James Snodgrass running that. And I think we both went to the last one. That was
it was very good.
Cracking little event to go to.
It was.
Could probably have done with a little bit more space in one of those rooms, but oh well, never mind.
It was an awkward event, and the venue hadn't long opened. It was very good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it just being well run and smooth throughout the day was just a nice little touch.
Yeah.
I would say if you are going to go to there, look for parking in advance.
Yes, wise words.
Because if you turn up at the venue and expect to find parking nearby just by scouting around, you will have a tough time. There are some long stay car parks, but just bear in mind.
I found one of those early, I Googled it in advance, but I noticed several people who were there were running out through the day to put more money in the short-term car park to keep themselves. Which some car parks don't let you do that anyway, but there are long stay car parks that aren't that far away, but they are hard to find.
Yes, there is a small one that is literally a street away. That's really easy to get to.
Yeah.
And also does use a parking app, so you can pay for your parking remotely.
But I don't think it's easy to find just by driving about. I think it's the one way and everything else. You need to find it in advance. Yeah, I agree.
The Swindon Old Town is not exactly the easiest place to navigate. So there you go. I did say to James I would mention that for him. So consider my duty done. Yeah.
So when does the Coke and Hose or anything for the sponsorship money?
Well, we have to finish all the end of the business first, I think.
Yeah. To be fair, it's only a 6-pack and something for the garden, so you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Alex, do you have anything else for your is there anything gaming related you've done? No, are you enjoying your ice hockey? Have you got any kind of anything else on the plate?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing bits and bobs and building a few minis here and there. Nothing really spectacular to report, but there's a new edition of Bushido out. It's a long-time listener will know I'm a big fan of that game.
Wow.
Do you ever play it?
Nope.
Have you ever played it?
Yeah.
I think he has ever, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Yeah. I've not played anything in a long, long time, but it's just finding the time to do it, but we'll see. One day, maybe.
Well, hey, as long as you're keeping yourself busy, that's kind of all that matters.
Yeah, definitely busy.
Cool. So, Benj.
I finally got to play Scythe at the weekend.
Oh, okay. Now this I'm very much interested in. I have an unplayed copy of Scythe kind of up here somewhere.
It's great. It looks daunting when you put it out, but it's really not. It's really self-explanatory. I would even suggest playing it by yourself if you can, because even that mode looks quite fun. Or even adding it as a third person to a 2-player game, because it's got like an automated system. And it's what's that? Sorry.
And the base game? Or?
That's the base game. The 2 expansions add 2 other races, and then the last expansion is a campaign where you roll over basically money, can buy upgrades, so you start a new mission with X amount of extra things, and it just looks really good. The theme is fantastic. Post World War One, Eastern Europe.
Well, it's like Weird World War One and Weird World War Two has been done an awful lot, I think, but I've not seen a whole amount of weird World War One.
It's not really weird. It's not weird as in that sense. I know what you're talking about because all
tanks.
all there is just agricultural mechs that have got a few guns strapped to them. It's not, and the mechs only serve a purpose to engage in combat, which combat isn't always advantageous. Basically, it's more about trading, agriculture.
Oh, sounds boring.
I'm looking at the reviews, and that's the conclusion I've come to. It looks awesome until you read the detail, and I go, okay, it's very Euro.
It's not though because it's not ugly. Euro games
It's not full of small cards.
Yeah, it's full of good meaty.
How dare you say Euro games are ugly?
They are ugly.
Is that a definition? With small cards.
You're using the eye of the beholder.
Are you saying that Agricola looks ugly?
Yes.
How? I won't say it's the best looking game I've ever seen. But Agricola's art matches the game. It is fundamentally a fantastic game.
I'm not disputing that it's a fun game, but it's ugly as sin.
What's your Benj? What's your feeling on the replayability of Scythe?
I want to play it a lot of times. And after the first game, I wanted to buy the expansion packs. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and other board game groups have it as well. It kind of had that war gamey type thing because there was a bit of diplomacy in there as well, where we were obviously.
So you try and take over areas. I'm looking at a hex map of
So you don't. The only fighting is when you actually occupy the same space, and the reason that it's not advantageous is because you lose popularity. There's lots of different scoring tracks basically, and combat loses you popularity, and popularity moves you quite up the scoring track. Right. Whereas power is important in combat and some other things.
But you need the will of the people.
Exactly, yeah. And there's some factions that barter on that and exploit it and still manage to do quite well because they have other objectives. Some people can decide to end the game and they think they're in a really advantageous position because you have to complete 6 objectives out of however many that are there. But you're really not wanting to. You're wanting to do as much as you possibly can to get out of the system before it ends. Cool. You can play it solo. You can play it with a group of 4, and then and you can almost play simultaneously. The only time you really need to interact with the other people is if you can do sort of like alliances, that aren't actually written into the game.
So ideally for you could pretend that you weren't with people.
You literally can. You can just ignore the other person, go about your business, get your resources, build your factory, and then when they come along and they park their mech on your turf, you can be like, "Oi, fuck off," and rumble if you want. Essentially,
see, I'm going to be able to sort of when it gets to me, kind of go on about something similar that I've played, but that sounds like an improved version to me. But we'll get to that when we get to me.
I'd say it lives up to the hype. You think there's lots of games out there that there are. I've watched a few videos subsequently where people point out a few bits that are like movement is a bit of you can't do everything you really want to do, and sometimes it can get frustrating in a turn when you can only choose one option at a time to do each turn.
But that's kind of what a good board game should do.
Yeah.
It should make you go, "Oh, I've got so many options, but I need to choose 2."
Yeah, you're thinking in 3 turns in advance, basically. Yeah. If I do this now, and you don't always get stopped by the other person, but you've always got their eye on where their territory is, and because the map feels massive, but it shrinks very quickly as you start collecting resources, upgrading, building, monuments or any of the other buildings, the armories and stuff, and yeah, it is. I played as the Polish faction, and their sort of special leader just marauds around the map with her friendly bear, doing these things called encounters, and their special ability is they get to choose 2 options on these cards. The first option is really good. Second option's a bit pricey, but it has a bit of a payoff. You usually have to pay a resource into it to get a benefit. And the third option is you're an absolute cunt, basically, to the indigenous population, or you steal a soldier's mech, a veteran soldier's mech, and add it to your army. But she gets to choose 2 of those options. So you can, and there's like, for instance, you could pay 2 popularity and get X back, but in the next option, because you can pick 2, you can offset that cost. So it's so I found that really interesting, and I haven't played with any of the other factions, but I'd play with that faction again just on that ability because it felt very strong. So, but the others have.
So how do you determine who plays which faction then?
It can be random. We just decided you can also pick your boards at random because not everybody's resource boards look the same. But you just can generally decide. We picked the 2 factions that were completely the opposite side of the maps with a lot of space between each other to give each other room to explore the map, basically. So it was a bit daunting at first. I don't like board games with lots and lots and lots of pieces, but it all fell into place, really, and I would recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what I did.
Fair enough. Kurt.
Hello.
How's your any other business?
I'm going to avoid painting. I think this board gaming thing. I'm liking this board gaming thing. In the post this morning, apart from a new phone charger, which I'm very very happy with, battery charger, I received another faction for Cthulhu Wars.
Oh, very nice.
Jumping on the
Rick and Morty?
No, H.P. Lovecraft.
No, the new faction, is it Rick and Morty?
Oh no, yeah, they haven't done it yet. No, and I feel it would spoil the ethos if they did go down that road, just completely sell out. No, I have arrived was Open of the Way, which is simplistically the purple faction, but apparently even reading the dialogue inside, they are regarded as the weird faction. This is in a
Cthulhu game.
In a Cthulhu game where there's a faction that have no great old ones or big monsters at all and build cathedrals instead, this is the weird one. You're like, okay.
What?
Yeah. No, there's a faction that build cathedrals instead of having big monsters. Yeah. I haven't got that one yet. So I now have 6 factions, including the 4 that come with the base game. And I played it. I was kind of hesitant, but I played it with my eldest daughter, my eldest nephew, and my brother-in-law weekend before last, and had a blast. It was awesome. It was really good fun. That's the first time I played my version of the game. I played Byron's back in February. But yeah, definitely want more. And in a similar way that it's interesting, Ben, the way you were describing that game. I was thinking if we took out the keywords and just substituted the Cthulhu Wars and the different factions, you could say almost exactly the same thing. You all try to do your own thing because it's asymmetrical, so you have different goals and different aims. You're all trying to gain points on the Doom track and be the first to 30 Doom, which is kind of, if you like, end the world. But you're doing it in different ways. You score those points. You can score those points in 2 or 3, 4 different ways. So and actually, the different factions generally do in different combinations of tactics. So yeah, that's definitely a big one for me. I definitely want to play more of that. I also got given, and this is not a new game, but I also got given the Firefly board game for my birthday.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so that was without any expansions. I'm sure I read somewhere that it's better with at least one of the expansions.
There are 1,000,001 expansions for that game, though.
There really are.
But I think there's one that's particularly good, but I can't remember which one. I have to rewatch one of the YouTube videos I've watched.
Who's filing at the moment?
Alex,
of course it is.
So annoying.
Just like the old days.
He's not actually playing with models. He's
It's a blast from the past. I didn't want to comment for that reason.
I'm going to mute that. There we go.
Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm away to Scotland for a few weeks, and I have 3 kind of what's the word? Shopping bags, modern shopping bags, as in the recyclable, reusable ones, full of board games, just to take. One of them is not Cthulhu Wars because it's so huge; it's just going to take you to a space.
This board game may never travel from my house now.
Well, it will go to my mum's and back to go over there, and maybe other people's houses directly to go and play it. but it can't go in with other things. It's just so big. It's huge. The base box is enormous. When Byron showed me the base box, I was like, so that's the Kickstarter box, thinking about other Kickstarter bigger boxes that you get. And he was like, no, that's the standard box. It doesn't get everything else in other boxes. Look at these over here. What? And
some Kickstarters are just ridiculous.
We're now in the 4th Kickstarter currently running for Cthulhu Wars, and he's got Byron's got an army transport trolley case that he packs his Cthulhu Wars into to travel it around.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a bit excessive, but I can see why.
So I know a few copies of the guys up in Glasgow's Super Dungeon Explorer got like that, where they were just, because they bought all the terrain for it and all the other stuff, so they were just dragging like the suitcase KR cases with them.
As I say, we don't talk about Super Dungeon Explorer.
Why?
Well,
why?
Okay.
You know why?
You weren't in on the last Kickstarter, were you?
No, what
happened? I put $1
Okay,
in.
so
Here we go.
No, actually, no. This one's fairly simple. Basically, they took a lot of money with the last Kickstarter, but what we didn't realize is that they'd run very much up against the whole thing of taking in money from one Kickstarter to fund the last one, which they also didn't have enough money to fulfill. So they're now on like update 160 something.
I get them because I put a buck in.
Yeah, basically going through saying, okay, this is what we've done to lessen their debt this time. This is how far we are along with the process. This is how far we have to go, because there was nothing for almost a year from that Kickstarter.
They tried to bail themselves out with the second incarnation of, what was it? I can't remember. I think it came 2 years late before.
Relic Knights.
They tried to bail themselves out with Relic Knights 2, which of course flopped. And never didn't raise enough money. That was kind of what kind of caused it.
That did go to production. That did get into production, didn't it?
I think so.
They've had various things. Basically, I think there's 2 Kickstarters, one of which they've basically just sold to someone else and said, here you go, here's the product. You can sort out the production of that. So that one's kind of been divested. But Super Dungeon Explorer is still with them. I'm gonna have to have a look just when that was, because I know I've done this several times on the podcast. It's made me sadder and sadder each time I've looked at it.
How much did you back then? How much did you personally lose?
I'll be able to tell you when I find it.
Ooh.
I did initially back it quite heavily, and I got in on the previous one, so I've got Forgotten King and a load of extras for that. And I came in late on that one. I think you told me about it.
Yeah.
And I joined post. I was a late backer. I've since picked up Mark 1 second hand, which I'm very happy about. The first Dragon Big Dungeon, the original version. But because I've got the cards, because I've got the updated card set within Forgotten King, so I could just play the newer version because I've got it all.
So, I've got the older version with all the expansions.
So Super Dungeon Explorer Legends funded November the 11th, 2015.
Wow, really? That long ago?
Yep. Scheduled for delivery.
Don't read that.
December 2016. I gave them $200. And we are now on update Umpty Thrumpty.
I couldn't honestly tell you. I think it was just literally finances. I took one look at it. It was the timing before Christmas, I think, wasn't it? And I was like, I think I need to not back this. I think I need to just change it to $1 because then I can keep an eye on it and maybe join it late. I think I intended to join it late, and then I went, you know what? No.
Yeah, it's I think the only big outstanding Kickstarter I've got in the past. Because I keep a very rough track of what's been delivered. And boy, some of those are
I've generally had positive experiences with my Kickstarters. The worst one was what's it called? Elite. No, it's not an Elite Cadre joke. It was a sci-fi aliens kind of version of Zombicide in some respects.
Okay.
Models were cool, but they screwed the modelling up and they had to go right back to basics, and it ended up being over a year late. It's cool. I don't think we've played it as a group, like as in the family. I've played it to try and get the hang of it, but nobody else. The only other thing I've got take you away from your Super Nintendo Explorer woes, if you like, for a moment, that I haven't played, that I really should find a way to put in the bags next Scotland because I haven't put it in there yet, is The Awful Orphanage.
Okay, now
back that.
I was very close to backing it because that did look like a very good game.
I've got it, and I'm glad I got the Kickstarter because you get a very nice base board folds out of the box. Really surprised me, and it quite grasp it from what they showed. It's almost as big as the whole board, and it unfolds to 4 times the size, and then the ends fold in and are magnetized to create a ridge around the outer edge because you build the orphanage like a room tile at a time, which are felt backed and sit really nicely on the board.
Oh, nice.
Don't move around, and they move, and you build the orphanage gradually every time you play. So it's unique play every time. It's much repeat playable, lots of different characters, especially Kickstarter, lots of characters you can play. And yeah, that's the quality of the game. And they did bring out lots of fluff. I think Gav Thorpe wrote some fluff for them. There were lots and lots of extra kind of sideline things PDFs that arrived on email alongside the Kickstarter. There was a lot of value add before the box arrived, which I thought was really, really nice. Still haven't played it. I think maybe I should find a way to take it with us because they give you a good wet day kind of holiday game to play.
Yeah.
It is basically you're playing children trapped in an orphanage. The Miss Prendergast, the woman who runs the orphanage, unknown to the people that give her the money for the orphans, has a deal with a gaunt and sinister man who comes and takes children away to who knows where.
I did like the suggestion on their site originally that this was a semi-cooperative board game in that you're working together to get out, but you can just throw other people under the bus.
That is pretty much, I think, from reading it and from sort of messing about with it a bit, it starts cooperative. So actually, I've got Rail Raiders Infinite, which was another soda pop game, and that game works similarly. So you're train robbers, but initially you work together to kill off all the guards. But as soon as the guards are dead, or nearly all the guards are dead, you start turning on each other to get the gold, because that's the point of the game, is to win all the gold.
Yeah.
But you work together to start with, and I think this is going to be similar. You will work together to explore the map and reveal understand what the map looks like, and try and find a way out. But as soon as you know the way out, you're all going to be just one of the things is marbles, and you can throw marbles under each other instead of again under the orderlies to throw them off and trip them up, and it looks fun. I need to play that; it'd be really good. So I haven't played it, but I want to.
Cool.
I think that's about me.
Okay. Well, as for myself, where to start? I've finally managed to finish writing up and sending out to the people who are proofreading it for me the second version of an RPG I'm writing. So it's in a playable state at this point. And I've actually got a local gaming group who are going to try running it soon, which is mildly terrifying. So it's all my fault if they have a terrible time. So it's like a setting agnostic RPG. I have no idea what they're playing. Oh no, that's it. They're running a cyberpunk version of it. So it all got written because I was playing Shadowrun and getting immensely frustrated with how long-winded and awful the rulebook was. So yeah, that's that. What else was the? Oh yes, I was going to say. So Ben, you were talking about I've forgotten the name of the game. Scythe.
Yeah.
So what you were saying with that reminded me a lot of a game that I've recently started playing in Twilight Imperium.
Yeah.
So a friend picked up Twilight Imperium 4 at UK Games Expo.
Oh God. It's supposed to be better. 4's supposed to be better though, isn't it?
So I've played 2 games.
Oh my God. And you're still hang on, wait a minute. And you haven't got a big beard.
I know.
Ah.
And we've kind of sat there afterwards for like a couple of hours, like dissecting the game and going, yeah, but if I'd done this and you'd done that, oh, okay, but maybe
how many days did each game take?
So each game, the first one was 3 players and took about 7 hours.
Right.
The second one was 5 players and took about 9 hours.
Yeah, that's about my understanding. So that is quicker than it used to be.
Yeah. No, it is an utterly fantastic game because for those unaware of Twilight Imperium, It's kind of set after the fall of a like multicultural empire, and you are one of the cultures who is left trying to take control of that same empire again. And it pretty much spans all the aspects that you could think of. You've got trade between the different races. You've got politics. You have a galactic council you can all vote on things in. You can go to war. You've got plenty of ships. You've got to colonize planets.
Yeah.
And the board it looks huge and intimidating at the start, but then you realize about 2 turns in, it's like, oh no, this is very cramped. We are going to like rub up against each other very quickly, and it's going to get messy. And it is an utterly fantastic game. I'd recommend anyone who's even vaguely interested in it, just find someone with a copy and say, yo, I will play this with you. Because
I had been invited to play some of the earlier versions, and the way that they play it is they set aside usually a bank holiday Monday when they can get away from their relevant families and wives, and they just basically go, we'll start it at 10 and we'll finish. Actually, no, they usually try and start it earlier. They start as early as possibly can, and it's a 12-hour game with 6 or 7 players.
Yeah. So the one thing that I would say is it looks from the outside extremely intimidating. There's, each player has like a deck of tech cards that they can buy, and a board of all the stats for their ships, and then they've got a hand of cards that are action cards, and this whole like system of interacting with other players. And then you play it, and you realize that you essentially boil it down to, I can put a token on the board and do things with that system, but I can only do that once per round. I can play a card from my hand, or I can play one of the things that I've drafted at the start of the turn. And once you realize that those are basically all the options you've got, it suddenly starts feeling a lot simpler. What is complex is the interaction with other people, because you've got always like 2 people either side of you and secret objectives that you're there going, okay, I need to accomplish this, but I need to really not annoy the person with the big fleet on that side, or the person who's doing all my trade goods on the other side.
So are we saying this is a common factor of good asymmetrical non-cooperative games where basically you try and achieve your goals, and this is true of all 3 games we're now talking about, where you're trying, and all of them have a level of conflict, and all of them have conflict mechanisms, and some of them are quite violent when you need to, but so some factions in Cthulhu are very violent, but it's late game. They generally try to build up, and then they swoop across and they clear the board. But if you've done enough early on, it doesn't matter. For example,
in Twilight Imperium, everything is very transient. If you get attached to anything, that's like your game is pretty much over.
Right.
Because you need to realize, like, if my stuff gets destroyed, I can rebuild it as long as I'm not daft about getting it there in the first place. Because, like, if people realize that guy's going to win, they will turn on you in a second.
Yeah.
And you are just beaten out of the game into a pulp in a corner. And then it becomes this race because it's only to 10 victory points.
Oh, so you don't have a kind of running score that you can see who's winning or anything that causes that?
You have a bar that's by the side that lists how many victory points you have.
Right.
You can score 1 objective a turn and 1 secret objective a turn. So, from that, anything up to 2. But then halfway up the game, more objectives start being revealed that are 2 victory points. So all of a sudden, it accelerates from this, well, I'm on 1 and you're on 2 and that guy's on 3, to suddenly one player's on 7 and everyone goes, get him. We need to ally to kill him off. And it just turns on a dime. And in this game, war is awful.
So the Munchkin effect.
No.
A little bit, but it's not as bad as Munchkin. Because in Munchkin, once you've beaten someone down to level 1, you kind of turn away and go, okay, let's see who's going to be the next guy to reach level 9. No. In this, once you've beaten someone down so that they're almost an irrelevance, if they get the right secret objective, they can still win the game. If they win the right thing at the it's called something else, but at the Senate, because every turn there are two agendas that you vote on that might destroy all the troops on a planet and make it a non-military zone.
Oh, wow.
Or that might make it, this planet is a planet of culture and will now develop twice as much culture. Or this person is now the imperial minister in charge of construction. So one player can now, if they activate a system, can build in there straight away, which otherwise you need one of the cards you draft at the start to do. And the subterfuge and this is as well. You have diplomatic cards. So if you deal with someone and say, okay, I want to have this system, but I know it's very near to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this card. And the card could be ceasefire. So that in future, if you go into any of their systems, they can just plop down the ceasefire card and that's it. You don't get to invade them. Or it could be a trade agreement, which means if you try and cash in any trade goods, they get all your trade goods instead. And these are like binding little agreements that are secret as well. And it's such a good set of interplay that yet. And what you got to remember as well is these cards, they can trade them to other players. So you might not know who you have a ceasefire with by the end of the game.
Okay.
It's complexity is all player driven. It's not game driven, because even the combat, you see the board for Twilight Imperium, you see like tons of ships everywhere and they're all kind of moving in different places. All the combat is literally you look at your ship and it has combat 5. That means when it attacks, you roll 1d10. If you roll a 5, you score a hit. That's it. And that just takes an opposing ship off the board. You basically roll all your dice, you say, yep, I've got 3 hits, and your opponent goes, okay, well, I'll kill off these 2 fighters and this escort. And then they get to roll their dice, and they'll say, okay, I've scored 2, and you'll assign 2 hits to your ships. And it's really fast-paced combat that basically they just went, you know what, we don't need to do a whole combat maneuvering game here. We'll just do 1d10.
Because it's a strategy game, it's not a combat game.
Yeah. So literally, it's a case of attrition. If you build up more stuff, you are more likely to win. But every race has their own unique spin on it. Like one of them will do like super trading stuff, and one of them, the race I was playing last time, they don't actually have to land on planets to take them over. They can just go, oh, someone's using diplomacy, and there's an unoccupied planet. Well, we'll just have that. And it's a beautiful system of interplay that it does. So yeah, again, Twilight Imperium 4. If ever you get the chance to play it, do play it. It is an experience, but do set aside like 9 hours to play it.
I actually have a friend who's looking to play, but he needs to find a table big enough to play on.
It does require a decent sized table. And again, the maps that are in the book, like the pre-generated, because every galaxy is independently generated and different. The maps that are in the book, really nicely balanced and a really good starting place. So there we go. That's that. I'm trying to think if I've got any more board gaming and hobby stuff at the moment. I went through all my UK Games Expo stuff on a previous podcast, so there's none of that. I've done some conversion stuff for War Machine. Yeah, bringing it back on topic.
Oh, no.
Yes, I sawed a metal iron head to pieces.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Or Iron Head.
Because I'd got the Bombardier bombshell, and just getting the shoulder pads off the iron head was one of the most tedious things I've ever done. But it's got done. It looks good. And then the first time I picked it up in game, I accidentally picked it up by the face and the torso kind of split in half. So that was lovely. But it's all fine now. It's all absolutely lovely.
I bought some. I bought a Frozen Forge set of tokens.
Oh,
the complete set of tokens for Christopher Guard, because I got tired of using Menoth ones and did debate Broken Egg. but from the UK, there's quite a big difference. Although when you look superficially, they look very similar in price. When you start adding shipping and then tax, it separates the price quite dramatically. Because while we're still in the EU, ordering from Norway makes sense.
I would say I've had Frozen Forge tokens for a while. I do love their stuff. I do need to update my set because at the moment, my mercenary tokens are very out of date.
Well, I would do it before October.
Yes, well, quite. Thank you for depressing me, Kurt. We're not going to discuss that any further.
I'm not going to go any further with that. No. But I like them. They're really nice. I've got the full set of Crisper Guard.
Yeah,
and some a few extra measuring sticks.
Well, with the rework of Fiona, I actually do need to buy new ones because she doesn't have like half the spells that she originally had on her card.
Oh,
yes, and now she's got Befuddle as well.
Oh yeah.
Which, just to go on a slight tangent, I was in the Mercenary Facebook group the other day, and someone genuinely asked the question: What good is Befuddle for?
What?
Why would I ever use this spell? And I'm sat there going, but it's a really lovely bit of kit. It's essentially a 3-inch advance that means you can face your opponent's stuff in any direction. What more do you want?
Yep.
And if you feel
the troll gypsy.
Yeah. If you feel like it, you can take Crow against it and go, okay, and now for 10 backstab ranged attacks with prey against whatever it is you've hit. Have fun. Because, crows with prey are a thing. I didn't get much work at them at the weekend, though. But, yeah. So, anyway, is there anything anyone else has got to add to the any other business?
I went and saw some Shakespeare yesterday, but that's not really game related.
No. It really isn't.
You talking about your role play reminded me. I've been playing a bit of D&D.
Really?
We've been playing with the same group for about a year now, and we hit level 4 yesterday.
Nice.
Been a slow, more role play, more puzzle sort of campaign. It's been pretty good.
Wait, am I going to regret asking which version you're playing?
This.
Okay.
Just got a couple of new players in it, so having 5th's just nice, easy to roll into.
Simpler, yeah.
In fairness, with you talking about that, I played a Shadowrun campaign for about 6 months, and there was no player advancement in that whatsoever. Because all the players started... The default state of Shadowrun is the players start off so hideously overpowered. I just sat there and went, I'm not going to give you any XP for this. You just nothing. You're getting nothing. Because there's one player there who's like kitted out with like, yes, I have ultimate charisma skills and I have like a ridiculously expensive car and all the equipment in the world. And then it got to about the second mission. It was like, I'm tired of this already. Right. You've got to tell me what you're carrying. You can only have what you can carry. Because having 100 feet of rope on you at all times isn't really feasible.
Nice.
They got a little bit upset about that one.
So I could understand it if we were playing XP, but we're playing milestone based.
Okay.
We're just having some fun. We had a murder mystery event that happened while we were all trapped on a boat, and none of us could really crack it as the DM had made it a little bit difficult. And it took us about 4 or 5 sessions to get through that. And we're on a boat in the middle of the sea, so there's nothing else we could do. We couldn't just nope out and go do something else.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah.
Now, I will say that the role-play game I'm in at the moment, I'm a bit iffy on because it's Fantasy Flight's End of the World. Do you know that one?
I haven't heard of that, no.
So the essence of the game is that all the party dies at the end.
Okay.
Which I'm the only player so far who knows this, other than the DM, because I looked at this thing. Yeah, I have thoughts. At least it's only meant to last for 2 or 3 sessions, but
it's kind of like an elongated one-shot sort of thing.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's not too bad. They don't have time to get attached to their characters.
Well, this is the thing. Everyone else is being super cautious because it's in the middle of a zombie apocalypse of sorts. And at this point, it's like, I'm just going to do things because if I don't, no one else will. And everyone else is wording things to like the nth degree so that they are perfectly safe while doing it. Like, that's not the point of this RPG. And I feel the GM may have misled you if you think it is. So, but, yeah. Anyway, it's probably time to...
home time.
Bedtime.
It probably is. Well, we're all old, and it's it's past 10 p.m. and it's a school night as well. Oh, terrible. So all that remains to say thank you to the people who've listened for the last 100 episodes. Don't say how long it is.
No one's been listening for 100 episodes.
You can't have this time back ever.
I've had to listen to all.
Mike has definitely listened to all 100 episodes
several times in some cases. I've even listened to the ones that never got released because there's at least a couple of those because the files got lost. So, yeah.
But we never had an episode 9, and we never had an episode 17.
No, it was episode 5.
No, I didn't mean the ones that got lost. I ment the inappropriate people's other numbers from other podcasts.
Okay, fair enough. But episode 5 was ours. That was Golden Troll.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's not go there. Let's not relive that. No. That had dire consequences.
6th of November, 2011.
Don't even go there.
When I tested how much caffeine I could possibly drink in one day.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. Thank you very much to everyone who's listened for the last 100 episodes. It has been a mixed pleasure to host it all.
It doesn't matter if you listen for 1 episode or 100 episodes. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Listened during the last 100 episodes.
Yes.
Is this your 7th episode, Alex? Well done.
Some of us will still be here with random, inane ramblings for a while to come. And yeah,
I've got a Blu-ray of Brazil we need to review at some point.
I think that all that remains is for. Ooh, this is the thing now. Do we get the person who signs us off now to do it, or the person who originally signs us off?
Alex can do it.
Alex can do it if he's not filing anything at the moment.
No,
Alex.
I'm not filing.
Would you like to sign us off?
Yeah, I'll sign us off. You've been listening to.
Oh, Alex, just one thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've been listening to Elite Cadre, the ice hockey podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Oh.
I've been Alex.
I've been Mike.
I've been Kurt.
I've been Nick.
I've been Benj.
This has been episode 100.
Say goodbye, Nick. Say goodbye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
Hey!
Huzzah.
The running joke that is still running even when you're not here.
Even when neither of them are on the podcast to say goodbye, Nick, and then not say it, we still do it.
Yeah. So I have here the big folder of Elite Cadre, and just going back, like episode 27, Steamroller 2013.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh, here's one. Episode 11, Steam Forged.
Oh. That big creator of D&D miniatures, Devil May Cry miniatures, and Dark Soul miniatures.
Creator of...
Well, it was a website in the early days.
Hang on. I'm going to stop the broadcast now.